far as trying to attract and things of that nature. And one of the points that was made was that we need to be more attractive to elderly people, or people that are in their retirement or planning on retiring and things like that. And I think one of the things when we talk about these water projects and things like that is one of the things they look at is what kind of infrastructure is there, because these people are coming from, we're seeing, I think from this report, I didn't get to look at it all and things of that nature, but I think what we're seeing is people looking for places to retire. And it was a positive comment on West Virginia being a good place as far as retirement, as far as facilities available or services available and things of that nature. And I think our proximity that we have to Corridor G and Logan and Huntington and Charleston makes us a prime area for people that want to get out of the city to settle in. So I think one of the things as we look at as far as going forward, down to Hatfield, McCoy and things like that, or what we plan on doing and things of that nature, we ought to also look and make sure all of our, I know we have some really good medical facilities in this county that I know back when I came back in 1981, we didn't have these type of things, but we do have, I think, strategically placed good healthcare facilities, and that's one of the things that the elderly need. That's one of the things that they look for when they come into a place to, and I think as far as we're addressing the problems as far as the development of Route 10, as far as that program to improve it and make it safer to drive and things like that. But I think as we go forward as a commission and as a group of people, we ought to look at what we can do to become more attractive to these people that would be retiring and need a place to come, because there's only so much land available, and we happen to be blessed with a lot of it here that's not developed and things of that nature. So, but I do think getting things like the water over into those areas where we have these sewer systems and things now, it's going to be kind of interesting to see how they interact and things of that nature. But the water was going to go one way or the other, so it's good to have the sewer systems already there that can potentially handle those flows and things of that nature. But that's all I have.
I'm good.
I just got a couple of highlights of things that boards that I've attended since the last meeting. Farmland Protection Board is moving real fast now, getting ready to secure the first farm. That's the McComas farm on Dairy Road. But everything is falling in place, and looks like it's going to everything work out. Just a matter of getting through all the hoops that the federal government and the state require, which is good. They will attend the LEPC meeting at the 911 center, and the group not as sparsely attended time, but people there are people that need to be there. Several firefighters were there, and of course Alan was there, and Rick back there was there representing Hearts, and then of course we had the National Weather Service lady there to give us an update on how her role is going to be and how Lincoln County is going to benefit by her being located where she is. And seemed to be pretty focused on how she's going to help us. Also, was able to go to this training, and we touched on earlier about conducting commission meetings and how we can be more efficient. And I think that there's some good things that we can do to improve and make things work. It's just working through those, because what we have now is happening down through time. I'm sure we can look at that and come up with ways to improve. And you heard about the architectural thing. We did conduct those 2 interviews and moving forward with that. That's all I have.
Just one bit of information to the audience and to the commissioners. The employees here at the courthouse are fortunate that we have a job and we have food to eat. But there's several people out in Lincoln County that does not have food to eat. So we want to have a food drive here at the courthouse. We're asking all employees, anyone in the outside the public or anybody that would like to donate non-perishable food. We're going to be taking it through the 12th. And then we're going to take it down to the food pantry. We only have one food pantry now in Lincoln County, and that's the Bread from Heaven. So we are going to be taking up the food, and we would appreciate anybody that wants to help donate.
How long are you going to be doing that? Like
Until December the 12th,
Great.
because that's when they're going to start boxing up and preparing for the people to come and get it on the 18th. Also, commissioners, are all 3 of you all going to go to the roundtable discussion on the 19th at 12 o'clock at the Chief Logan Park.
I was planning on.
Yeah, I marked it on the calendar.
What day is that on?
It'll be a Wednesday.
Yeah, I will attend it for a period of time there.
Okay.
It just starts at noon, does it?
And there'll be lunch provided.
How long do you think this will last?
It says up through 3 o'clock. And we need to invite our legislators, our senators, or anybody that we can talk to. So, because what this is an idea of what legislative issues we want to present to our legislators.
Can I have an alibi, please? For public comment?
Yes.
Something I was sitting back there listening to what was going on and forgot what I was here for. Happens to me sometimes. I'd like to invite the commission members to the Harts Volunteer Fire Department Christmas dinner. We're having that on the 15th. Let's see, starting at 7 o'clock. If you'd like to attend, we'd love to have you and your spouses. And please don't bring anything, we'll have plenty. And let's see here, go back to the calendar. We're also, our fire department's also doing a Toys for Tots drive. We've been doing that for a couple weeks. We've we got some donations from some businesses, and also we've been tolling the bridge and taking collections and such. And the purpose of that, of course, is to provide toys directly to the children of our community. And then we will plan on having a community Christmas party for those children. We're going to notify them, notify their parents, so they can bring them by. Santa Claus is going to be there. We're going to have some juice and cookies and such, and we're going to give out the presents to the children on the 20. Let's see, am I right? On the 21st, and that starts probably about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and it'll go to about 8 o'clock. That way we can accommodate people who are working and bring their children by. So if you'd like to come by for those, we'd love to have you.
What time was that on December 15th?
15th is at 7 o'clock.
7, okay. Thanks, sir.
Oh, and one last thing. Harts, we're also doing a Christmas parade on Saturday, the 22nd, starts at 2 p.m. At the Harts Health Clinic, and we're thinking about taking it all the way down to the new school, instead of going back to the old high school and having to do that roundup in that back parking lot. So more than welcome to come there. Anybody here, welcome to come. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Our next meeting is December the 20th, 2012 at 10 a.m. We have our Christmas dinner at 12 o'clock here at the courthouse.
What day was that?
On the 20th, December the 20th.
Third Thursday.
Is there anything in the works of making the Mud River Dam area a state park?
It's on my Christmas list. We continue to send letters, and I guess it would be an appropriate time to make a last push if that's what people want. With Governor Tomlin, very familiar with it, and we've had discussions about it, and it's just that DNR doesn't want to relinquish. They want to keep it a public hunting area that, in their opinion, is not suitable for a park, and that's where we disagree, I guess. But I think there's a certain group of people who certainly enjoy that part of it. I guess what I envision would be we could still have a state park and still not lose anything. We might be able to gain some things, the way I look at it. But we'd still have our fishing, our hunting, and all the other things. But we just need to come up with some way to make recreation a bigger issue for us. But I'd be willing to help anyone help move that forward. And as we talk about going to Chief Logan on the there was down 19th. It would be certainly a time for us to talk to the legislative people and and let them know again, that's a concern. But we have sent letters before, and certainly, we've had them up here to look at it. We brought down some and done a tour of it one Sunday afternoon. But,
And
so
I-
far.
And I've talked to several people who had the DNR about it too, and things like that, and I always bring out the point that all these surrounding counties have state parks, but we don't, and there's, unless they got a good reason for that, to me, that's just bothersome, it's much like the same, we don't have a stock trout impoundment, which they're willing to say they'll do, but we still don't have one. And everywhere around us, around the counties, they have it, so, these, and going back to the older people, I know a stock trout pond is something that's very important to some of them. And because I know a lot of our people go out of the county to do those type of things. So I think anything we can do, and I think the thing that Charles was talking about, we could have more camping and more lodging and things like that through the state park system. And the proximity to the Hatfield-McCoy systems, you're always going to need lodging. You're always going to need camping and things like that. So I think it's something, seeing that, I think we talked with Walt Helmick when he was, I think he came to the county and things like that. And so now he's got a different job, so we'll go talk to whoever's left there. So, but it's something that I think is a plus for all the counties. And I talked with them, the lodging they have at Beach Fort, there's a guy in Harts built those things for them over there. And, we have that capability to use for Hatfield-McCoy and things like that. But I do think that it would help us tremendously to get in the park system and things of that nature. And the thing about it being a park versus a hunting area, a wildlife management areas, I think, and we may be seeing, but to me, sometimes our DNR, I know they try to do a good job, but sometimes they unintentionally cause more problems with the public than really needs to be. And I think this is where we all need to kind of get on the same page. And I think what we're seeing, just like Charles said, there's a group of us that feel that should be a state park and be available to everybody. And then there's the DNR that thinks, well, we should just, and I'm not knocking hunting, because I like hunting better as well as anyone. But, there are things that can be done at a state park that we can't do with it as it is now. So, and you know this, and so I think it is something that we need to really keep feet. And as Charles said, with our governor, we wouldn't have a better ear to talk to about it. So it's one of the things that's high on all of our list as far as when we get around the governor to talk to him and ask him about things of that nature. So, but I do think it's important for this county to look at doing that, because I think in the long run, that's what people are going to look for. When they look to come to a place and things like that, a state park's much more attractive to a wider group of people than just a wildlife management area is.
And you hit part of, it's economics. I think that having a state park would bring people in and bring money to the county, to vendors and whatever. One of the things they kept throwing up as we had our discussions was there's no significant reason to have it on the Mud River. And I kept saying, well, it's really the birthplace of Charles Yeager. It's just right down below where the dam is. Yeah. So they didn't really respond to it, but I think that's something, again, we should talk with them about it. It would be definitely something we could rally around, would be the birthplace of Yeager. And the other thing is that, while we're on this, is the coal company, I'm not sure what their name is now, but the coal company has agreed in writing to provide us with approximately 100 acres in Berry's Branch on top of the hill back there when they leave. And so I could see whether we had this state park down here that with that part up there, what they told us was, what the sketches we have, that they put us in a horse ring, they put in some campsites that leave the electric in place, the road in place when they leave there, and we would have title to that. And it would be better if we had a park system just down the road from it and have this up there. It would just bring more, and it would also add to the Hatfield-McCoy thing. It's beginning to move in the county. So we just need to, get with it and see if we can't give it another shot.
Dr. Stallings has been my family physician my personal physician for over 20 years. And I've got an appointment coming up, a regular appointment, and I will talk to him about that.
I'm sure he would be willing to help, I believe.
I think he is good friends with the governor.
Yeah.
May I follow up on State Park for just a minute? Robert L. Beanblossom, I didn't make this name up. He is the representative for the DNR on the State Parks Board. And he serves as a non-voting member of the Hatfield McCoy Board of Directors. And he and I have had many conversations about this state park. And of course, he has informed me that it takes an act of legislature, that the legislators can do this, that the DNR head can't do it, he can't do it, that it takes an act of legislature to make that a state park. And I followed through with that, and I've been in contact with him, and he is willing to come over here and talk, but he has other areas of the county that he would prefer to make a state park rather than Mud River. And I said, no, we want Mud River. That's there first and foremost. So, I've been in conversation with him, and I'm in conversation, and I will see him at our next board meeting, which is not until February next year, but I've let him know that the county commissioners and the people and everybody, that's their primary interest for a state park in this county is Mud River Lake. And he has other areas and he would prefer to see it, but it's not up to him. It falls back to our legislators, so that's who we need to talk to.
Appreciate it. Anything else? Yes.
Lots of people who come from out of our county to the Mud River Dam are concerned because there's no cell phone service in that area. Is there any, have you all ever
Well, we've,
had any?
yeah, Alan and I, as a matter of fact, went up there on the hill, talking about cell phone service in the Mud River area. We went up on the hill up there where the old horse park was and tried to convince them that that would be a suitable site, but the elevation wasn't high enough to suit them, but there's been different efforts to try to get that done, just for safety's sake.
We looked at a grant to place a tower site there, and the state has about $1.5 million a year that's there for cellular, not for cellular, but for radio towers to be built. Once that's built, then the cellular company can go on it. And now the restrictions are that we can't even apply for that money unless you have a letter of intent from a cellular provider that's willing to put the equipment on the air. And a lot of people don't realize it, but you're looking at least $1 million for a cellular company to put the equipment in that building to make cell phone service available. And when I met with them and they started to look at the geography of the system, it just wasn't populous enough to ever return the investment of it. And, we met with them, have met with the cellular companies several times, and the last call I had from them, they called and said, well, we're interested in doing something with the tower site. And I said, okay. And they said, we want something else in Hamlin, between Hamlin and Route 34. Well, my goal would have been for something in Harts or at Mud River because there was no service there. But it's basically a matter of economics. If they can't support it with the amount of people that live in the area, they won't consider it. And we even looked at, the commission looking at a repeater, looking at some options for us buying some equipment that would allow for just a few cell phone users in the area in case there was an emergency. And nothing was cost effective for that area.
Well, and there is at Griffithsville, there's a company that has a lease on a piece of property there to put a cell tower. It's been leased now for 2 or 3 years. I think just like a 5-year lease, and they haven't made any move on it yet, right there in Griffithsville. Anything else? If not, motion to adjourn to December the 20th at 10.
So moved. I'll second.
We're stand adjourned.
11 a.m. and then 6:30 p.m. So I'll be there. They usually like to stretch like about an hour and a half, something like that. You're welcome to join in, and then you're looking for. I've got a bunch of people that are signing up for my phase 5 out on Frank Ford and then through Vulture Road.
Oh, really?
So yeah, I've got a bunch of people.
I'm gonna go to the house.
Yeah, man, I don't blame you.